Teacher Kate, and I'm coming to you from outer space. Isn't it beautiful? Today I'm going to talk to you about the solar system. But first, I better go inside. See you soon. Wow. Hi folks, Teacher Kate here, coming to you from inside my spaceship. It feels a lot safer inside, but it was so beautiful outside. So today I'm going to be talking to you about our solar system. I'm going to be reading to you a book called I Am the Solar System by Rebecca and James McDonald. And it's an amazing book that explains everything about our solar system with really beautiful illustrations. But first I thought I'd just touch on a couple of the topics. So, we live in a galaxy called the Milky Way. There are many, many galaxies in our whole universe in outer space. In the center of our galaxy is a large, fiery star called the Sun. And that Sun has 8 planets that orbit or travel around it. And they are kept in that orbit by an invisible field called gravity. Think of it kind of like a rope that keeps the planet in place. Gravity is also what keeps us fixed down to the planet Earth, and we don't float away into outer space. Also, we have the Sun, we have our planets. Also in our solar system, we have moons. Planet Earth only has 1 moon, but other planets have many moons. So what else is in our solar system? Well, we have rocks and dust and other space debris. We have asteroids and comets. We have things called dwarf planets. We even have asteroid belts. Not belts that we wear around our pants. These are belts made of rocks. It's all very interesting and very hard to understand. But we're going to read this book today, and it's going to explain so much. So let's just jump into it, and let's read the book, I Am the Solar System, by Rebecca and James McDonald. Hope you have a great week, and keep looking up to the stars, because you'll never know what you're going to see. Have a great week. I Am the Solar System by Rebecca and James McDonald. I am the solar system. I'm the place where your planet, Earth, and 7 other planets circle around a very important star called the Sun. I'm like a big neighborhood, and the Sun is right in the middle. The Sun is the biggest object in the neighborhood. Its gravity keeps all kinds of objects circling around it. You can't see gravity, but it keeps things from floating away, even you. When one or more objects circle around another object, it's called orbiting. The planets orbit the Sun, and many have moons that orbit them. Time to explore the neighborhood. There's no air to breathe once you leave Earth, and space is really cold. So a special spacecraft and spacesuit are needed for traveling the solar system. Ready for blast off? 3, 2, 1. Just ahead is the first and closest planet to the Sun, Mercury. It's also the smallest planet. Venus is the second planet from the Sun. Even though it's not the closest, it's the hottest planet in this solar system. The third planet from the Sun is Earth. That's where you live. Earth is the only planet in this solar system that holds all kinds of life on its surface. The fourth planet orbiting the Sun is Mars. Many spacecraft have visited the red planet, Mars. Planets aren't the only things that orbit the Sun. Just after Mars is the Asteroid Belt. The Asteroid Belt is filled with dust, asteroids, which are rocks, and even a dwarf planet named Ceres. Tighten up your seatbelts. It could get a little bumpy, but don't worry about crashing into anything. Asteroids in the asteroid belt are far apart from each other. Asteroids are mostly made up of rock. Some are tiny and some are gigantic. Just past the asteroid belt is the fifth and largest planet orbiting the Sun, Jupiter. Scientists call it a gas giant because its surface is made of gas and liquid. That means there's no ground for a spaceship to land on. The sixth planet from the Sun is Saturn. It's also a gas giant. The rings that circle Saturn are made of ice, rock, and dust. Saturn's strong gravity keeps the rings from floating away. The seventh planet from the Sun is Uranus. It's called the ice giant because it's very icy and cold. Neptune, the eighth and farthest planet from the Sun, is also an ice giant. Scientists found Neptune by using numbers and math before they actually even saw it. Neptune's the farthest planet from the Sun, but the solar system doesn't end there. Next is the Kuiper Belt. It's a giant freezing ring filled with rocks, dust, ice, and other space objects. The dwarf planet Pluto is part of the Kuiper Belt. Keep an eye out for bright objects with long streaking tails speeding through space. They are called comets. The Sun holds the planets and other space objects in place with its gravity. It also protects the solar system in a giant bubble made of solar wind. The solar wind comes off the Sun's hot surface and blows in every direction, past the planets, even beyond the Kuiper Belt. It blows as far as it can until it forms a giant bubble around the solar system, called a heliosphere. Outside of the heliosphere is where scientists say the solar system comes to an end and interstellar space begins. Interstellar space is the space between stars. There are only 2 spacecrafts that have ever made it out of the solar system and into interstellar space, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, and they are still exploring. I'm not the only solar system in space. There are many more stars out there with planets that orbit them. But so far, I'm the only solar neighborhood with a planet that is filled with life. Let's see what you've learned from this book. I'm going to read a few questions. Just pause the video to answer them. Which planet in the solar system is the only planet known to have life? How many planets are there in your solar system? What are the names of the 2 belts in the solar system? What is an object doing when it's circling around another object? What holds the planets and other space objects in place
and keeps them orbiting the sun. When the solar wind forms a giant bubble around the solar system, what do scientists call this bubble? Here are some other incredible books by Rebecca and James McDonald.
Going on a spacewalk is a lot of hard work, but so beautiful. Outer space is phenomenal. And did you know that anybody can be an astronaut? You don't have to go to college and study to be an astronaut or a scientist or an engineer. Even teachers can be astronauts. All you have to do is have a college degree, fill out an application, and then you have to train to be an astronaut. I will discuss that maybe in another video, or maybe you could look up that. And then you have to train to be an astronaut. I might touch on that a little bit later, but training to be an astronaut is brutal. But look where you get to go. Today, we're going to talk about the solar system. Did you know that the solar system is... Today, we're going to talk about the solar system, specifically our solar system. Our solar system is called the Milky Way, not the candy bar. That's what the candy bar is named after. Our solar system is called the Milky Way, and it is made up of planets, stars, space debris, which is like rocks and ice, comets, asteroids, and planets. Oh, and moons. And today we're going to talk about, and in today's book, we're going to talk about specifically what is a solar system. First of all, let's talk about how scientists believe our solar system got started. You see, about 13.8 million years ago, about 13.8 billion years ago, the universe was born because scientists believe that our universe was born about 13.8 billion years ago. There was this colossal, magnificent, huge explosion known as the Big Bang. And this produced two things: matter, which is something that we can touch, particles, and energy, which is something that you can't see, but you can feel. The universe formed in a tiny fraction of a second. And at this point, it was so dense and it was incredibly hot. The universe grew and it cooled. And eventually it formed stars and galaxies. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, was then formed at a later date. And then our galaxy was later formed. Pretty cool, right? Not everybody believes in the Big Bang Theory, and that's okay. But today I'm talking about what scientists believe. So let's talk about our galaxy. Our galaxy is made up of 8 planets. We live on the only planet that can sustain life, which means that the only planet that people can live on and plants can grow. Do you know what that planet is called? You're so smart. The planet Earth. Well, the planet Earth and the other 7 planets all orbit or circle around a very large and hot star. Do you know what that star is called? So smart. You are right. That is the sun. And the sun is 300,000 times larger than the planet Earth. I can't even think that big. So our planet and the other 7 planets circle in a different path, but they circle around the sun. And the reason that they stay circling around the sun is because of this invisible field. Kind of think of it like a rope, but invisible, called gravity. And gravity is what makes us stay in alignment in that path. But gravity is also what keeps us gravity is also what keeps us fixed to the ground and not floating into outer space. I wondered if you ever wondered that. Have you ever wondered why we don't float into outer space? That's because gravity. Pretty cool, huh? So we have 7 planets. We have one giant star at the center of our galaxy. We have 8 planets. What else do we have? We have a moon. Earth has 1 moon. The other planets have many moons. We also have stars that we can see when we look up in the sky at night. Sometimes we can look up in the sky at night and we can see other planets. When we see a moving object in the sky, we could be seeing a comet or an asteroid. Up in the sky, there are many, many things that make up our solar system. And today, we're going to start to talk about what those things are. We are going to read a wonderful book by James. Today we're going to start off our adventure by reading a really great book by Rebecca and James McDonald called I Am Solar System. And they have wonderful illustrations, and I love this whole series. And we're going to explore some of the definitions, and we're going to explore what it is that makes up our solar system. I hope you enjoy the book, and I'll be back in a little bit to talk to you more about our solar system. I hope you enjoy the book.